Hey y'all, and welcome to my channel. I feel like denim is trendy every year. And when I saw this skirt, I fell in love. I love the three-tone graduated colors of it, and I thought, I can do this. So let's get started. All right, so here's my skirt that you saw on me. It fits, so I don't have to obviously do anything with the top. It's got the split in the back, which isn't going to matter because it's going to be cut off. Oh, Twix. As soon as I closed the door. So what I did is I found the dark jean skirt, and then I'm going to need two different colors of jean for the bottom. So I found these light colored jeans here. These are actually men's jeans, but I got them. They were brand new, never been worn, and I think I got them for like $3. But that's going to be my light denim at the bottom, and then I just need a medium denim. And I have these, but that I thrifted, but I don't think it's enough contrast. I think it's still too dark. I need a shade in between these two. So I'm going to go in my stash. I do have some other denim that I've thrifted to do things with. So I'm going to run in my stash, see if I can find something that's a little lighter than this. And then we'll go from there. Okay, so sometimes the plan's reworked. So I couldn't find anything in between these two, so I'm actually going to use this as the middle, and I found this one in my stash that's going to be the light. Now, what I'm going to do too is I'm going to use the hem as I hope. We're going to see. If I split the leg up the side, if there's enough fabric here that will fit the front, and then the other leg the back. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to use my scissors and cut up. When I measured it, I want it to be 24 inches long. So I'm going to kind of measure down where I want. Let's see. If I do this one at about 13, I don't want it to fall like right under my butt cheeks. So let's see. If I do 14 on this, 24, that leaves me 10 inches, which would leave me 5 inches of each one. So I would have that and that. I don't think that's enough. I think I want higher than that. Let's see. So much of this upcycling is just trial and error. See, these are women's jeans, so the legs here are going to be a whole lot smaller, and technically I only have up to like here when this starts. So that's about 9-ish inches. Okay. So I guess the first thing I need to do is cut up these and see if these are even wide enough. To do what I want to do across the bottom of the skirt. As I said, I think I never spend more than $5 on denims, the jeans, so okay, that is definitely not wide enough. Let's see about this one, because I wanted to kind of use the hem, the natural hem of the jeans, for like the hem between Okay. That one's wider, but still not quite wide enough. Okay, so this is where I pause for a minute and think things through. So I'll be back. Okay, so I solved the center layer. So what I did, measured, this is basically 18 inches. So it's 9 inches in half. So instead of just being able to use the bottom hem for this, I'm going to have to go up the leg. So I need, see, a leg right there is 9 inches. So which means opening it up, it would be 18, which would fit. So I can actually cut it right there. And that solves the middle layer. So let's see. I tried my skirt back on. This pin here is kind of where after my kind of my butt ends and my legs begin. So, oh my goodness, Twix. Twix, stop that. Are you either in or out? Well then come on. Come on. Goodness. Okay, so 9 inches. And then so it's about 11 inches. So if I do 12 inches, 12 to 24, so that's 12 inches. So that's about 6 inches a piece. So we'll go 7 inches with seam allowance. So then from here, I can fold my jeans in half. Like so. I want to make sure they're nice and flat and even. Okay. So now I'm just going to use my ruler. And then I said 7 inches. So 7 and 7. So then that's where I'm going to cut. I guess my one main concern is just going to be sewing through all the layers of denim. But I think if I use a denim needle, I should be fine. All right, now I've got plenty of denim here for another project. And then, yep. That fits. Now this is the only thing you have to worry about here is because I'm on the leg tapers. It goes from smaller at the ankle and then tapers up to the crotch. You'll see here you've got this little part that it doesn't lay flat. It needs to be like that. But I can fix that kind of just like you would if you're one of those where you turn pants into a skirt. I can just overlap that and then go back and sew it down. And you'll see now it's straight across versus like this one. Which is not. You'll say this one kind of makes that V shape, whereas this one's straight. So that'll have to happen before I sew it on. Okay, now for the skirt, I want to go ahead and cut the skirt down. I want to make sure that my hem is straight so that I have as straight of a line as possible. Pull any pockets out of the way. Now, because this skirt is a pencil skirt and tight fitting, you'll see it doesn't lay completely flat here. That's because it does come out slightly for the hips. So, just all these little things that you got to think about. Okay, so I'm going to go 8.5 inches so that I have, let's see, what is this? 8.5. Yeah, I'm going to go 8.5 inches. Nope, I'm going to go 8. I'd rather end up having to cut off a little than, of course, obviously making it too short. And you'll see it does dip up slightly here. I'm not measuring 8 inches from there. I want to keep it nice and straight, so I'm going to do 8 inches from here and here, and then draw my line. And then that's where I'm going to cut very carefully. And then all this denim I'm going to save, because denim is a hot commodity. I think we should trade in denim. It's like eggs. It's expensive when you find it in the store. All right, so there's my skirt. And by doing it, you'll remember that the front of a skirt dips down lower than the back because of your butt. So that's why I made sure that the hem of the skirt was even and matched and not the top of the skirt. All right, so there's that. And then here's that layer. Now I need to think about the lighter layer, because that's as wide as the pants are. Now, I could go back to the thrift store and see if I could find a pair that's this light. I can take this piece with me, go in there and try to match pants that are this light, and see if I can find it in like a really large size or a men's or something like that, where I have the leg width. I don't want to do that, so I'm going to think about this. I'm going to try my hardest to figure out a way where I don't have to go back to the thrift store. But we'll see. I'm going to give it some thought, and I'll be back. All right, so I fixed my problem with the lower band, and I basically just did what I did for the middle band, is I just cut it from higher up on the leg. I've gone ahead and restitched, you'll see here, restitched the seams, trying to straighten them out as much as possible. You can only do so much. Now, I mean, you don't have to keep this seam. You could definitely just do like a regular seam or something like that, and then you wouldn't have to worry about it. But I kind of wanted to keep the seams. So I've resewn them in matching thread. And then what I'm going to do is, I've already done the back of the skirt, so I can kind of show you. So here's the back. Let me go out a little. So here's the back of the skirt, and I've actually, instead of sewing them together, I've actually like left it open, so it's going to be pretty much like a pleat, or not a pleat. Anyway, it's going to be open up the sides up to here, which, in looking at it now, I'm thinking that's probably too high to have a slit. That's the word I was looking for. It's probably too high to have a slit. So I think what I'm going to do is just have the slit on the bottom and sew this together. So what I plan on doing is I'll just turn under, you know, the end here and just a narrow hem and sew it down. Since I've already done that to the back, then what I'm just going to do is kind of do like what I did here, is I'm just going to slip this under and just top stitch it down like that. That way I don't have to unpick anything. But normally you would, you know, seam it right sides together, flip it back, whatever. And then the bottom one, so I'll just have a slit at the bottom. So then on both sides here, both of the ends, I just need to turn under a little narrow hem like that, and then just stitch it down. And then it's just a matter of stitching it to the skirt. I'm not going to hem it on the bottom. I am going to leave it so that it unravels. Once you start washing and drying it, that's when the unraveling actually really takes place. I went ahead and I did overcast my seams. You can do a zigzag stitch, or you can just leave it, you know, how it is. You don't necessarily have to overcast it. So, and I am trying to match up these center seams. So I'm using a denim needle, size 116, and I didn't have any trouble going across the thickness here. You just have to take it slow. Don't try to, you know, go through at top speed, and don't pull your fabric, because then that's when you'll break the needle. So for this, so right sides together, and because it's so thick, I'm actually using a clip there instead of pins. And then I'm just going to pin this. I'm just sewing in like 3/8 of an inch seams. Now I did just double check when I sewed the back. I did double check to make sure that, you know, it was still going to be the length that I wanted it, the 24 inches, before I added the bottom ruffle. And then, and it turned out fine, but you know, you can always just, if it's too long, you can cut it off of the bottom one, or, you know, just measure it so they're kind of even. So since I've got that done, let's not go that much. Okay, so I've got it pinned, and then these sides, I'm just going to overlap like that, and I will kind of just pin that in place. And I'll do that on both sides, and then I'm just going to sew this down and then just top stitch from that side onto there, and that way I'll have, come on Twix, if you're coming up, that way I'll have a nice nice finished edge. Now you can definitely you know, if you want to, sew on this first band, and then if you want to, try on your skirt, make sure it still fits properly. You know, that's, I think, where people, I don't want to say mess up, but, you know, they don't wait, they don't try it on in between. They wait till the very end to try it on, and then it doesn't fit, and they get discouraged. And so try it on as you go, because then you can make your necessary adjustments without having to unpick or start over or anything like that. Okay, so that's how it's going to look when I'm done. I'll top stitch that down there, so that it'll be all closed. It'll be done. It matches there. And then I'll do the exact same thing to this one. I'll do my little narrow hem on the sides, kind of match, yeah, kind of match my seams a little bit. sew it up like that, flip it over, and then I did top stitch this, so I'll top stitch this one down here, and then I'll probably top stitch this up here so that the center, basically the seams on the center one, will go out either direction like that. So let me get this one sewn here, do my small side seams here, and then we'll continue. Okay, so yes, Twix has decided to join, be in my way. All right, so I have got everything sewn up. Now, this one doesn't quite go in the center, but I think that's fine. I mean, when I'm wearing it, I think it'll be fine. As I said, I'm leaving the hem unfinished, so it kind of frays a little bit. I did top stitch this down here, top stitched all the way around, and you'll see I did join that at the sides, top stitch it, so that's all piece, and then the little slit is just the bottom, like that. On the back, it looks kind of like that. I just went ahead, trimmed off any extra fabric here on the inside, so it wouldn't be extra bulky. Again, you can finish the seams if you want. I forgot and didn't finish that one, but that's okay. You may have to, you know, after some washings or whatever, trim some threads, but so let's see how it looks on. I hope this inspires y'all to create something for yourself and think outside the box, see what you can do, and happy sewing.